I'm going to tell you today why you should never pay for media exposure. This video could potentially save you hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars in time in terms of what to invest your time and your money in when it comes to your business. So when I talk about media exposure, I'm talking about media outlets. There's something called pay to play, which has become very popular as of late. And all it is you may get an email from someone saying, hey, I'm someone from, this Inventors magazine, and we've looked at your profile and you would be perfect for this top 30 young entrepreneurs to watch list. Are you interested? Would you like to know more? And you go, oh my gosh, my ego feels good. That sounds really amazing. Please tell me more. And they go, well, it's only $500 to be featured. And we think you'd be perfect for it. Or it could be something else. Maybe you see something on Facebook and go, hey, for $97, you get to be featured in Fox News and CBS and all of these affiliates. And it boosts your business completely, all for $97. Well, I'm afraid to say, if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. And I'm going to tell you why. I have a background in media. I have worked in publicity. I have worked in news. I have worked with really big organizations all over the world for about 15 years. And I know how the media works. And what I do not like seeing is anyone spending $1 on something that not only is not going to help you grow your business, but it can actually be really detrimental to your brand and your reputation. I'm going to tell you why. Number one, these pay-to-play spots, they're nothing but advertising space. I'm not against advertising. It has a place. If you want to invest in advertising, go for it if you have the budget for it. But these posts usually target people who really don't have an advertising budget, an entrepreneur or a really small business owner who really doesn't have a marketing budget like the bigger companies do. And to me, it really targets people who are vulnerable, who are really looking for a way to increase their visibility and increase their business. And, if something is promising you something really quickly and overnight success, it's usually something to check in about. But anyway, that's one of the reasons I feel really passionate about this. And not to spend $1 that isn't actually going to give you an ROI on your investment. So number one, you're basically just paying for a sponsored post, but they're making it sound like it's something that's going to give you credibility. It will not. And if you look at an advertisement, you can go, oh, that's a nice ad that they've paid to be placed. That's interesting to know that about the product. However, if you see an article in a credible media outlet that you've seen before that has journalists working for it who are actually telling stories, it gives a credibility to that story and that person and that business and that brand. It completely boosts your credibility. However, if you see a sponsored post that isn't labeled as a sponsored post, and a lot of these, they just take draft copy from people and post them, and it doesn't increase your SEO. It doesn't help people find you. It doesn't drive business to your website. It's really a waste of money, and it also can really undermine your credibility as a brand. And the other thing to look at is if you're still not sure, are these people journalists who are reaching out to you? I can almost guarantee they aren't. So just a few things to look for if you ever get reached out about those type of pay-to-play spots. I'm not against paying for advertising, but you need to know exactly what you're paying for. Even if it's only $97, you would be better off paying $97 to take a journalist out for lunch or to meet someone, go and connect with someone who can potentially help you grow your business in another way. I just wouldn't recommend that. Now, when I talk about credible media outlets, I'm going to share something with you, and this is me sharing with you a story that I had placed for my business. And this is in a newspaper from actually the hometown where I grew up in, which is called the Union Recorder in Milledgeville, Georgia. I just want to show you what ended up being a weekend feature. It was a pitch that I created myself when my book was launched. And do you want to talk about credibility? That felt pretty good. This is not an advertisement. I did not pay to have this featured. This was a pitch that I created, and look at that. That is thousands of dollars worth of advertising space right there, but it gives credibility because it's a credible journalist telling my story in a very credible media outlet. This is the type of stuff I'm talking about. Whether it's your hometown newspaper, whether it's a national publication, if it's Forbes that you want to be featured in, or Oprah or the Today Show, these principles are still the same. The other thing I want to say to you is, if a journalist from one of the really big outlets, such as Forbes, for instance, if they see that you have paid for those type of posts, They will not look at you as a credible source for a story. I'll go a little bit deeper into that. There's something called Forbes Council. I'm not against these things. You just need to be aware of what you're signing up to. And Forbes Council is almost like their own pay-to-play spot where you do have to be chosen. Your copy has to be good enough, but you pay to have your things featured. They're basically creating their own advertising space. But if you decide to pay for your things to be featured in Forbes, they will not come to you with an editorial request because you're now an advertiser. That is because credible media outlets have something called editorial and credibility. They have policies, they have standards and practices in place. And that's the reason why we still trust certain media outlets. You may not trust some of them or all of them, but there are still journalists who have a lot of integrity. Most media outlets have a lot of standards and practices that they abide by to keep that integrity in place. So that's just something I want you to know. So those are the warnings. That's how you kind of figure out what's a real media request versus not one. Now, okay, why you shouldn't, do pay to play, why you should never pay for media exposure, you got that. Now let me give you some tips. So you're like, okay, Rachel, fine, I won't pay to play. Or maybe you've already done that and that's okay. There's no shame in that. We learn as we grow, right? That's the only way we kind of grow in our business. So I'm going to actually give you some tips about how to engage the media in a credible way that will help you grow your business, that will help bring credibility to your business and your brand and attract the right people to it as well. So I'm going to give you 4 tips to get your note-taking device out. Number 1, if you want to be featured in the media for your business, I want you to create a dream media list. Where do you want to be featured? A lot of people skip this step. They're like, oh, I want to be featured. I'm like, where? Where do you want to be featured? Where would be perfect for your business? Where do you see yourself? I want you to just take 2 minutes and imagine. And if you're not sure where you want to be featured in, you need to do some research. So number 1, create your dream media outlet list of where you want to be featured. Number 2, engage your local media, whether it's your local radio station, newspaper, journalists, blogs. Reach out to them, let them know who you are and what you can offer advice in, what you can offer commentary on, and what your business is all about. Local outlets are always looking to support their local community. So whether it's a business that you have or an offering that you have, share with them your story. You'd be shocked what can come out of that. Number 3, follow the journalists who you want to engage with on social media, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook even. You'd be surprised how many journalists and producers look for content on social media when they're looking for their next story. Number 4, look at your past social media content. You may think you're not a writer. You may think you can't create copy. But if you've had anything on any of your social media outlets, you can turn them into blogs. You can turn them into articles that you can actually pitch to media. So those are 4 really strong tips right there to get you started so that you can actually engage with the media in a credible way and be seen as the thought leader that you are, and start building, start climbing that media mountain, start gathering those media logos and being featured in the right places for your business and your brand. Now, if you're a woman in business or if you are an emerging female leader and you're like, yes, I want more of this, I would love to invite you to join Publicize Yourself Academy. This is your one-stop shop of everything that you need in order to learn how to pitch to the media, how to get visible in front of your audience, and only in 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes a day. If you've got 10 minutes a day, you can change your business. If you've got 10 minutes a day, you can land a story in that media outlet that you're looking for that's on that dream list today. So check it out at our website, lifeonherterms.com, Publicize Yourself Academy. But until then, make sure that everything that you're doing today is helping you get visible and get in front of the right people. Sending you much love. Bye.